วัสดีค่ะ Welcome to the second part of the first episode of Thailand in Conversations, an interview series by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs exploring Thailand from diverse perspectives. My name is Nucha Sawatichai, your moderator, and today's episode is the second part of the episode of Thai Diplomat's journey, A Life in Service. We are still here today with His Excellency Mr. Sihasak Phuangketkeow, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs. So now let's discuss about another important part of being a diplomat, which is posting. I have learned that your posting have took you to several countries, each at a pivotal moment in history. So, which posting do you think changed you the most, and what did that city actually teach you about? Whether it's diplomacy, it's about the country, or even about yourself?
Well, I think I learned a lot from each posting. In Washington, I had two excellent ambassadors who taught me a lot. One ambassador taught me to think strategically. Another taught me how to be a can-do person to get things done. But in Washington, it's a big posting. All of us, we learn to be independent. I had to go out, meet with the members of Congress, staffers, not the members, the staffers on Capitol Hill, staffers of members of Congress, House of Representatives, or the Senate. And you have to, sometimes you're on your own. You have to be able to speak about Thailand. You have to be able to present the case of Thailand, why the Congress should be supporting Thailand, and sometimes we have a legislation that might affect our interests. So we have to go and meet the people who are behind these legislations. And so you have to think how to present your case. You have to learn how to advocate Thailand's interests. So that's what I learned in Washington. In Tokyo, I learned because I was the minister counselor, I had to do quite a few administrative work. It's not just policy. You have to know how to manage people. You have to know how to manage the affairs of the office. Right? So I learned a lot in Tokyo as well. And in Tokyo, we had a very substantive relations covering political, economic, and so I was looking after both the political and the economic session. So I think I had a part in trying to shape the relationship at that time. And then Hong Kong, I was Consul General. So it was first time I was heading a mission.
Wow.
Right, and so I had the responsibility of, looking after my colleagues at the office, but at the same time I had to go out, represent Thailand, speak about Thailand to various audiences. And also Hong Kong is a place where you have a lot of the leading business people at that time. And so I got to know quite a few leading business people. And even today I still maintain ties with them. And the other postings, of course, Geneva was my first multilateral posting. I learned how to be able to negotiate documents, to be able to articulate Thailand's interests in international meetings. And I was president of the UN Human Rights Council, so it was a very, I would say, an eye-opening experience for me, because human rights is not human rights. It's very political. And so how to handle human rights in a political context, especially you are the chairman of the council.
Yes.
How to ensure unity of the council, how to bridge the differences, the different positions. And then I became permanent secretary after that, and it's the highest career position for our ministry. So I had to work closely with the minister. Difficult period because we had It was a period of polarization in Thai politics. The red shirts, the yellow shirt, the conflict between the two, and how to operate in that kind of environment. Very difficult, and we had the shutdown of Bangkok. And many times I had to represent the foreign minister and even the prime minister in international meetings. So it was quite a challenging time for me and for the country. And then I went on to Tokyo, back to Tokyo, which I think something that I've been looking forward to because I enjoy my first posting in Tokyo. And then somehow, before I could enjoy my posting in Tokyo, I was shifted to Paris.
Oh.
But never been posted to France. I don't speak French, but I was able to get a lot of work done. Bilateral relations. At the same time, I wore many hats. I was also ambassador to UNESCO.
Yes.
And I was ambassador to Monaco. I looked after the OECD. And also, I was also ambassador to Algeria as well, but with residence in Paris. So it's been a very rewarding and career. And I think you learn from every posting, you learn from every position. It's really up to the person. Some people may say that this is not interesting, so they don't want to do it. But every work, there's always an interesting aspect to it. Even when I was a young officer, I would enjoy, arranging the motorcade because it's very important to make sure that no one, everyone is seated in the right car, right? And also handling luggages, protocol work, all very important. And we learn from every work, every assignment that's given to us.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Your Excellency. I also remember your interview in another channel that you mentioned that sometimes high levels might not even remember what is written in your speech, but he will remember that he was left behind.
Yeah, he was left behind, or he sat in the wrong place during an official dinner.
So now a bit back to the time when you served as the president of the United Nations Human Rights Council. During that time, have you ever come across a leader or a negotiator or a person that very much inspired you as a diplomat?
No, I think that was a time when I had to really make use of all the skills I had accumulated as a diplomat. Because the Human Rights Council is not simply about human rights. It's very political. Right? And in the council, you have this group, that group, you have the European group, you have the African group, you have the Asian group, and then you have the political groupings like the non-aligned group, the OIC, Organization of Islamic Country group. So they come, human rights, we say that human rights are universal. But in fact, yes, but everyone has different perception of the concept of universality of human rights.
Yes.
Right? Because different background, different culture, different history. And also, human rights have become political instruments. Sometimes you like this country, even though this country has a bad record on human rights, you don't say anything. But this country, the same record on human rights, but they get attacked every time because they're on the other side, right? So it's very, very political. And so how to bridge the differences and keep the work of the council going was a challenging experience. And I took the presidency at the time when we had to do a review of the council. And the review meaning we had to review the mandates of the council, the structure of the council, the method of work, the whole package.
Yes.
And it was quite tough, because again, as I mentioned, there's such a lot of differences of views. The spectrum of thinking is, it's very wide. And so I did one thing that nobody ever thought I would do at that time when we had sort of a deadlock. I invited all my colleagues, the ambassadors and permanent representatives, to come to Bangkok, to fly from Geneva to Bangkok to have a retreat. And most of them came. And when they arrived, I told them, don't wear your neckties, take off your jacket, feel very casual.
Yes.
And it helped to improve the atmosphere of our meetings. We were much more relaxed, much more at ease. We didn't read from our talking points. And one of the most memorable moments was I took all my colleagues on a cruise in the Chao Phraya River for dinner. And we arranged a band, and we had a small dance floor on the boat. And when everybody saw the band and the dance floor, they said, I cannot dance, I cannot sing. But then after dinner, and everybody enjoyed themselves, and later on they were competing for the microphone, and all of them were also on the dance floor. And that helped to, it was not just about having fun, it was about camaraderie. It was about establishing rapport. And that is very much a part of diplomacy. Sometimes we think diplomacy is about going to the meeting room, negotiating with the other side, trying to win over in arguing your case. But in the end, it's about relationship, because sometimes even if we have different position officially, the fact that we can communicate, we are friends, we're able to understand the other side's position better, and eventually this helps to find common grounds. Because the job of a diplomat, in French it's called raison d'être, the very basic task is to find common grounds and to find, they say, the art of compromise, to find a compromise. Not compromising on your core interests, but also trying to find common interests. Sometimes we have to stick to our main principles. We know what the principles are, we know what the core interests are, but at the same time, there's room for that, for certain, for finding common grounds, for finding compromises.
Yes. So at the end of the day, it's maybe it's only like the good relations that serve as a strong foundation for anything else. So Your Excellency, with the time we have left, I now have one final question for you. So after you have spent over 4 decades at the ministry navigating the world that has changed fundamentally and dramatically, but here you are still at the table and still shaping what comes next. So what would be your message for our listeners who may be dreaming of becoming a diplomat, dreaming of joining public service, or even simply dreaming of doing something meaningful with their lives?
Yeah, well, first of all, we all have to have ambition, right? And we have to do things that we feel passionate about, right? But it doesn't mean that, sometimes you can build passion. You may start off not having passion, but then you can develop passion, and you have to be able to recognize that every work that we do matters. Right? It's when you join the foreign ministry, you're not going to be doing policy work right away, but you'll be doing work that will gradually prepare you for policy work later on. And so you have to, reach out. You have to be able to, to pick up knowledge from many places, from reading documents, talking with people, watching how your bosses perform and all that, and asking the right questions. And I think that's the pathway towards success or enjoying your career. And the other thing is keep on learning, because you never can cease to learn. Every day there's something new. Even today I have to keep thinking about how the world is changing. The world right now as we know it is going through a period of transformation, some call fragmentation, the erosion of the world order, and we're facing new challenges as well. So you have to constantly try to come to some kind of understanding of where the world is heading and how these changes have implications for Thailand and how we should position ourselves to meet these challenges. And I think what's most important is that these challenges don't come one at a time.
Yes.
They converge together. So we have to have these days a foreign policy that is based on good footwork, a sense of direction, having both a short-term and a long-term perspective. And so these are interesting times for foreign policy. And so I'm still enjoying my work after more than 40 years.
Yes. So that's truly inspiring, Your Excellency. I believe that there is still so much more that our listeners would love to hear from you, but as our time is up, I would like to say thank you for joining us today and for the time you have been given us today, also for speaking so openly about your remarkable journey. So, and this is the stories behind the statesman, His Excellency Mr. Sihasak Phuangketkeow, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, for joining us. And also thank you, our listeners, for being with us in this first episode of Thailand in Conversations. We hope you will join us again as we continue exploring Thailand in the next episode. So until next time, thank you.